Howdy YouTube, and welcome to this episode of the Gunman. So this video here, I'll be taking you guys through the paint work on this Audi Q5. The paint code is LX7R. The name of the color is Monsoon Grey, and it actually has an alternative code which is 0C if you're trying to look up this color. Anyway, we'll get straight into it. The prep work has already been done. I did all my prep work dry, which gets me to the poll question in this video. Do you prefer dry sanding or wet sanding? So leave your opinion in that little poll, which is the eye icon in the top right hand corner of your screen. I urge you to make your vote count. I've been asking a few people on Instagram, and I'll be doing the same on Facebook soon and get some people's feedback on what they prefer. I've actually been talking about that a little bit lately with the guy that I work with. He prefers his wet sanding, but I'm a dry sanding man. I believe if it's done correctly, it can save time. The main issue some people do have is sanding scratches, but again, if it's done properly, you should not be encountering that, which I don't. The first time I did paint water-based, I did because I was using 800 instead of 1000 grit for doing my edges. Once I moved on to the 1000 grit, they're now a thing of the past. The gun you saw me using there with the base coat blender was the ANI F150. HPS is what it says on the air cap, and it's a 1.4mm fluid tip on it. I've been pretty impressed with how that's been spraying this base coat blender, and that actually just stays in my gun. I don't even clean that out after each time I use it. It just saves a step for me and it allows me to get on to the next job. Onto our base coat stage, I'm using the DeVilbiss GPI. Again, it's got a 1.4mm in it, and I find that this Cromax Pro water base that I am using in this gun, it's quite thick and it really likes to be put on quite heavy. Don't be scared with it if you are using it. There's been a few times that I've had a little bit of mottle with it, and sometimes a little bit of a funny blend with it. But what I think that it is, I think I'm onto it now. It's because it covers so well. As you saw there, one coat, you've got your coverage. It's actually less of a blend, so color match is crucial. And also, what I was about to say before is that if I'm doing a silver, next time I'm doing a silver, I'm actually going to try putting some of that, say 50% of that base coat blender in with your color, and then use that to do your blend. So you're really diluting the strength of that color, because you're basically doing less of a blend with this, I find anyway, because you get coverage bang straight away. And when you're actually using this system and mixing it up, you'll be able to click one of the boxes on the computer and tick that you are doing a blend. Now they will put a little bit of that 2040 in, but I believe that I would actually be able to put quite a lot more in to improve my blend qualities. And when I'm working on some really nice cars in the future, that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, I'll take this moment to make a quick mention to you guys. I'm sorry that I've been AFK, or away from making videos, away from keyboard, for probably about 3 weeks now. I've been a little bit down on a few things. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life at the moment, getting a visa for my girlfriend, and also watching an industry get taken over by the corporate world, which is why I quit this job today. I'm not naming names, and all that's going to do is get me in trouble at the end of the day, but I can imagine it's exactly the same over the rest of the world, say Europe and UK. Big businesses are coming in, buying out lots of panel shops, and they're dictating conditions and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty bad to see happen. They're making you clock on and off of every job, monitoring every single minute, and you've got probably 5 or 10 people every time I pick up a piece of sandpaper waiting for their cut out of the job. I found myself in a pretty dark place there for a while, but today I quit. Is my last day, and already I feel like I've got the energy that it takes, the mental energy that it takes to make another YouTube video for you guys. So I'll be moving back to Perth. Next Tuesday, I'm actually jumping in my car. It's a 3,500 kilometer drive. I'm going to drive back over to Perth and rekindle the love for this trade, because I was really down on it there for quite some time. I do urge any commenters just to keep names out of it, any business names, because you're only gonna bring trouble to me at the end of the day if you guys start naming names that are doing these kind of things. I just talk about the topic, but we don't need to name names. Anyway, onto our clear coat. I'm using the DeVilbiss GPI Pro Lite with 1.3mm fluid tip on it and the TE20 air cap. this has been my go-to cat for quite some time. But recently my partner in crime, Lindsay, the other painter that I've been working with, he asked me what the T110 air cap was like, and I was using that for quite some time this week. I'm actually gonna, as soon as I finish making this video, I'm gonna jump straight onto it and show you guys what that T110 air cap is like. I do find this TE20 is just a great all-rounder. It consumes a little bit more air, but it's actually more efficient. So I can just turn around and say 130 mils per panel, every panel, and I'll have no paint left at the end of it. So as far as efficiency goes, yes, the TE20 does win, and it's just been great to have this other guy, Lindsay, to be able to bounce ideas off and just talk about spray guns and just technical side of spray painting and how you're going to get the tight finish, how you're going to get a, you know, Euro finish compared to a Japanese finish, paint film thicknesses, that's probably next on my list to get is a micrometer. I'm interested in exactly how much film build I'm getting. You know, I'll do a reading, say, before I start sanding, after I've sanded, prior to clear coat, after clear coat, all that kind of thing. So don't forget, this channel is in its infancy. It's less than 2.5 years old, and I do believe the best is yet to come. I was speaking to my mum the other day and talking about how I started to lose the passion for making YouTube videos, and she did say she was a little bit worried about me there because she knows I've got such a passion for this trade and also this YouTube channel, and that's a big part of the reason for my move back to Perth. I find that I'm a little bit more focused on work and also on this YouTube channel when I'm over there. Probably just got a few less distractions over there. Whilst it's been good to come back to Melbourne, I'm glad I did come back to Melbourne before I moved back to Perth, because if I had gone straight back to Perth, I would have constantly been thinking, oh, you know, I should have gone back to Melbourne, I'm missing out. But now I know what I'm missing out on. It's not all that good anyway. I believe housing prices in Melbourne are an absolute joke at the moment. So yeah, I've got a few reasons for the move. I've got a better savings capacity over there in Perth too, and I'm sure most people will be able to respect that. I'm 33 years old and I'm starting to plan for the future, basically. I don't want to be doing this when I'm 65 years old, and if I do it, yeah, it'll probably just be hobby style. I thought I'd include a little bit of the unmasking stage. As you've noticed, I went around and taped all the plastic down on the entire car because this booth really does blow a gallon. If you don't do it, it starts flapping up and ends up all over the place, which is actually why I had to put that piece of paper down the bottom of that door, because without it, the plastic was sort of lifting up. In a full downdraft booth, you would not have that issue, but as you can see, this is a front draft booth, so it comes in from one end and it goes, the air flows down to the other end. You may have noticed when I was painting that the overspray was just flying to the right of screen at 100 miles an hour. So it does have good airflow in it, but the air isn't going straight down. It's going from one end to the other. And that's actually why you see me parking the car in a bit of a funny angle. I've actually angled it so that the air isn't going to be flowing straight onto that panel, because if you do that, you run the risk of getting excessive dust and crap in it. Now, this isn't the best booth that we have in this workshop, but that really doesn't stop me from getting top quality results in it. As you see on this car here, there's a couple of nibs in it. You're always going to get that, but all in all, I find this Cromax Pro a brilliant system. The off-the-gun finishes are much better than what I've ever really been able to achieve with solvent. Might be pretty close if you're talking the Glazerate 55 line, but I hear that the Glazerate water system is probably a bit behind the times. I believe it was actually released in 1990, so they probably are a little bit behind the technology of the Axalta product. I know this video is a bit of a semi-vlog, but there's still loads of technical tips and tricks that I did include in it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Now, we'll be able to see here that that colour looks a fair bit out, but you wait until it gets outside and it's a definite improvement. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. It's not my finest colour, but all I actually did on this car was sort of take a bit of a risk, and I looked at the colour card. They had the Cromax colour cards, and it looked damn good. It actually looked better than what this sprayed out. I'd say that the color card was 9.5 out of 10, and my color's probably 8 out of 10. As I say, wait until we get it outside and it's an improvement, but it just goes and teaches me that you've always really should spray your colors out and make sure they are right. So here's the car once it's outside. I've got no footage of it once it's cleaned up. You can see the blend there. It actually blended out quite nice, and that color's actually, it's pretty good. I'd definitely give it a pass. It'll definitely go. I doubt the owner will be picking it. Now you've seen this video, get out there and paint some shit. Thanks for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.
Yeah.